Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone. This is my second attempt to make this stream. I am going to be starting a Factorio game with Angels and Bob's mods. First time I tried to do this stream, I could not get the recording come out properly. The bitrate was too slow, the UI was not very readable. So I've gone off and fixed that as best I can. So let's just get started. I'll show you what mods I have installed. Oh, and one other thing I should stress, I am definitely not an expert at this game. I just play it for fun. And I hope you guys have fun watching me run along with it. So let's look at the mods that I have in here. Looks like I have a whole bunch of mods. One of the things that I really should point out is most of these mods came in on one of these big package mods, okay? And if I can find that big package mod in here, I will show you which one I picked up. But there is one big packaged mod that I brought in that brought in all of the Bobs and Angels different, or right here, Angel Bob. Basically, this is one that contains dependencies for all of the various things I brought in. And there's also this one here I think I brought in too, which is one with the quality of life packs, which brings in some quality of life um, items, specifically the mini loader, the research, a few other things. I've also added in, there should be a fill for me mod in here. I don't see it, but let's go down to the fill for me. That is one of the ones that I like to play with. All right, let's go off and get the game started, and I'll show you what I do to make it a little bit easier to start with this. Unfortunately, with the Angel and Bob's mods, it's a bit of a slow start. Actually, it's a very slow start to the vanilla game because you have different resources you have to set up and different machines to get those resources going, and I'll show you what those are in just a few minutes. I will just go with the free play, go with the rich resources, which has basically bumped up the resources here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually increase that even more for some of the standard things that you need, specifically the sapphirite, the sterilite, and the bobmonium, and the rubyite. I will also increase the frequency about 200%. These guys, I'll also do that for, I might as well just balance these guys out just because. I'll also increase the, okay, the richest at 200. Let's just bump them up to 300. Just make it a little bit of a faster start so I can show you guys some of the things I do. As I said, I'm not an expert, so we see how that all goes. I am going to bring the cliffs down to about the second stop here, which is about 25%. They will get in the way of the bus I will be setting up. I just use a normal map. Enemies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down the frequency and size of the enemies because I don't want them to overrun me at the start. We'll turn on enemy expansion. We'll drop that down a little bit. Drop down the group size. Increase the cooldown. This is just to keep them at bay as I'm setting up the base because I'm not going to be doing I'm not going to be doing a very fast start because I'm going to be explaining everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this. Okay, I can't drop that down too far. It was at 40, so let's bring that down to 40 again. Controls how fast is due to destroying enemy spawners. So basically, I'm going to drop that down as well. And the pollution factor is good there. Under advanced, one of the things I am going to go in here is change the research to availability. In the vanilla game, it usually has it only set up so that you can do the research queue after you've won the game, which is launched in your spacecraft. Or you can actually turn on the queue with a cheat, but that will disable your achievements. I am going to just turn it on here. Oh, I still get the achievements. Not that I had very many achievements just to get it. I'm going to turn on pollution, and I'm going to increase the absorption a little bit to keep the enemies at bay a bit. Increase the cost of how much needs to hit them before they start to attack. I'm going to increase how much is absorbed by the trees, and drop down the diffusion ratio by to 1%. Okay, so the other thing I want to have a look at is the mod settings. Now these things should all be fairly default, so I'm not going to actually change any of these mod settings. I'm going to go back over here. So let's have a look at the map that it generates. All right, so here we are on the map, and right now it looks like we've got a fairly decent set of resources around our base, which will be about right here. It is a little bit going to be a little bit tight to set up the base because of all of the various different things around it. Let's see what the next map will give us. Now that's a bit better. We have one body of water right here, and we got something red right there, which I hope is not an enemy spawner, but it's probably just rubellite because that's pretty close to where we will be spawning here. There isn't too much in the way of cliffs, though the cliffs can get to be a bit of a problem when we're going to be setting up a bus. Looking at this right now, I am looking for... Okay, so we got some pretty good resources up here in the northeast. Some up here in the north. Not a little bit over here. And some of it down over here. But mainly the resources that I see that we will be having to grab into the mid-game will probably be this lot over here. Yeah, we're going to need a little bit more saphirite in here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And that one, I'll explain what these things actually do later on. All right, so this is a little bit better in here to really get the game going. The one thing that people probably cannot see right now, and I don't see them anywhere on the map just yet, as the bad guys, or the enemy spawners. So I may have turned them down a little bit too far. So let's go off to the enemies, and we will bring it back up to here. Let it draw itself out, and see if there's any enemies around. I do not see them on the map. So let's just make sure that they're all turned on. I'm going to turn on this, increase the size of them. I'll bring that down later on. Pretty sure the enemies are turned on. I don't know. I do not know why. Okay, let's put that down here. I'll bring that back up later on. Let's see any on the map. Normally they'd be pushed out to the peripheries a bit. Oh well, I'm going to assume that we have them around, and they'll eventually find their way to us, and we get to zap them a little bit. I am a little bit worried about that little red dot right here by my mouse. That could be an enemy spot. And we will now see how this actually looks. So we got a lot of resources down here where we're going to be starting. Resources up to the north. Not so much down to the south. I think when I get... Well, let's just see what the next map looks like. We will save that seed just in case. See what the next map looks like. a lot of water around the spawn area. We'll cut off our kind of expansion, but there's less cliffs. How's my cliffs doing? Yeah, the cliffs are still turned. Well, if I turn them down one more notch. And that enemy base right there. But we do have enemies on this map, which is good because we don't want to make it too easy for us. Alright, let's say what the next one is going to be like. Nah, I don't really like that one. That one has some possibilities to it. It's got the different types of terrains. We got a lot of resources over here. Not so much over here, which means we can set our bus up over here, bring in the resources from this area right here. That looks pretty decent. No enemies on the map that I can see just yet. That looks like resources down over there. So, well, let's give this map a shot. See how it all goes. We will be spawning right in here. One of the things I will point out, because this is an Angels and Bob's modded thing, is we have some desert, we have some temperate, we have some swamp area. They will all have different types of resources for some of the ecological research as part of the game. And we will see how it goes. This is a shot. Go off to play. There we go. All right. So basically, we have started off and we have crashed our mighty spaceship in the middle of nowhere. At least on this planet here. We'll get rid of that, and I will get rid of it. So you can watch it blow up, but while it's blowing up, let's have a quick look around here. Okay. Down over here, we have Sapphirite, we got the Jovolite, we got the coal, we've got the Protinium, we've got the some more Sapphirite, some more Rubyite. Now, while I am in here, okay, so we got this stuff over here, Uratite. Guess that's how you say it. I am not very good at pronouncing things, but let's have a look. Here's our crashed spaceship. We got Bobonium, which will give us some tin. We've got the Sapphirite, which is going to be one of our most important resources. That will give us iron. We've got the Protoninium, which isn't that useful right now. The Giverlite, which again isn't that useful at this stage of the game. It will become useful later on. We got the Stereolitite, which will give us copper, and the Rubite, whatever that is, and that will give us some lead. Okay, we got some more over here, but basically that is the resources we have from our starting area. We have some water up here, which is good. We got some water over here. We have a few things on the map. You might be able to see it, but up here, you won't. Okay, we won't be able to go in here. That's kind of a turquoise, so that's not something that we really need to worry about just yet. That's probably a tree that will be used for later on. We got a yellow thing over here. And we got kind of a green, no, that's a natural gas, so that's not what I'm looking for right now. But let's get started with our starting area. All right. So I'm going to move down over here. And this has a good access to two of the primary resources we need to start with, which is this Sapphirite, which I said will give us some iron, but later on will also give us copper, silicon, nickel, titanium, and zinc. And this stuff over here, which is the Stereolitite, which will give us copper, iron, cobalt, tin, uranium, and aluminum. Later on, almost getting to phase 2, we will have the rubit, whatever it is, lead, nickel, aluminum, gold, titanium, and tungsten. Won't be for a long time. We have coal, which is very important because it will power our base. Then later on, we will also have the Driverlight, which will actually also give us some iron, which is going to be very valuable. Iron, copper, aluminum, zinc, silver, and tungsten. The only thing that we're missing is the stuff that was up here. Not far, no, actually it's down there, which is the Protinium. Will give us copper, iron, lead, silver, gold, and titanium. But what we want to start to do, at least in my experience, is to set up our first miner here. Now, we're kind of lucky in that we do have it butted up against some coal. So I wonder, and I've never tried this before, if I can drop the burner miner right here, because you will notice I can probably get it to mine over both areas. Okay, then I can drop in my crusher, and this is one of the things that isn't normal for the normal game. This is one of the Bobs and Angels mods that gives this. So we need to actually fill these things up. We need to mine, then crush, and then we can smelt it. All right, so I am running out of coal right now. I just want to have a look to see. Okay, that looks like a nice rock up here. That's actually just going to give me some stone. I'm going to mine it with the right click of the button. So that is just a right click to mine that stone. And here we have some more stone, which will be very useful in a little bit. But some of these big rocks will also give us a lot of coal. And I have not seen any of those big rocks yet. But it looks like I am going to have to mine my own coal, which is a bit annoying. So let's get in here and mine some coal. Again, it's just right click. And that work or that work? It's not. That's going to get that going. And okay, it looks like it is only going to be getting the crushed fat. So it looks like what I was looking for isn't actually working like I wanted to. Alright, so let's get some more coal. Oh, actually no. It did actually get, oh, okay, it is actually mining coal. Good. It's mining some coal, mining some of the other stuff. That's at least a good start. I'm going to make okay, so basically bring up the screen here, which is the inventory, is the E key. So with the E key turned up, I am going to go off and go to production. And right now I am missing some iron plates. So while this thing is doing its thing, I'm going to go back up to the ship. It's up here somewhere. And you also notice that I have a few of these things say they have iron plates. Okay. If I hit the Alt key, those things go away. So I'm going to hit the Alt key again and bring them back up. And I am going to collect all my litter. So right click again on the item to basically clear the area. But we'll also be picking up some iron plates as we do this. So it takes a little bit of time to pick them up. So picking up or mining is basically the right click of the mouse. Go back down over to here. I really do not like how the Bobonium kind of fades in there because you can easily miss it. So we've got this here thing going. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to drop down our smelter. I put it right next to this. That's not the best place to put it, but I will show you something to fix that later on. I'm going to drop in the crushed sapphirite. You notice it takes 3 of the crushed to make 1 plate, which is actually pretty expensive. Alright, I'm going to make another burner miner. I am going to drop this guy. And one thing I will actually show you guys as well is that with this burner miner is that there is an arrow right now pointing to the left, and you can rotate that around with the R key and Shift R to turn it back. You also notice there's a little ghost underneath the mouse. I will explain that later. But I'm going to put this thing so that it'll feed directly into the into there. And I should have. Okay, I didn't have any coal on me. How much coal is in here? I will grab half of it and drop it into here. Okay. The one thing I will, the next thing I will also do is I will grab this 12 from here, put it up in here, and we'll make some more of these plates. And while it's doing stuff, I'm going to go over to the trees and basically harvest the trees because we're going to need the wood. Another thing to mention with the Bobs and Angels mod is that a lot of the beginning resources start off, processing them will give you 2 outputs. Okay, in this case, with the crushed sapphirite, it will give you the crushed stuff that you want, and also give you some crushed stone, which you're going to have to take care of at some point. Later on in the game, you're going to have so much of this stuff that you're going to have to get creative to get rid of it. And luckily, there's going to be some pretty big containers that you can put them in, and you can also process it into other recipes. But basically, I'll show you one of the things is that we can actually turn all of this crushed stone right now into actual stone, and just a simple left click will cause it to create one of these things. A right click will cause it to do 5. You can see down here on the left, pretty quick, it actually does that, and if I did hit the shift and left click, it will do the entire stack. Alright, we're out of coal here, so I'm going to grab half the stack from here, and I'll explain how I did that in just a second, just to get this stuff going. And I am going to grab this stuff and put it over here. Okay, what I just did is that instead of opening this up, I can grab all of the items from it and bring it into my inventory. So if I hit shift and then click, right click, it will grab half of the items in there. There's half. Okay, control, I'll grab half of the items in there, and you'll notice that there's still stuff in here. And then left click will grab all the rest. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to make another 2 miners. And I am missing something. I'm missing plates. So I will grab plates, make 2 more miners. So 1, 2. I will go off to logistics. That's not logistics. That one. And make myself a box. I'm going to go find a nice place in this coal. You'll notice that that arrow is pointing up. And I am going to put down the box at that point. Okay. And I am going to grab half of this and change it over to that. I don't want to lose all my coal. So what I have going right now is I have three burner miners that run off of coal. 2 of them feeding into this doohickey, this guy right here, and one feeding coal directly into here so that this can actually be used for the other machines that we make. So let's get the copper side of things going. And I need to have some more iron plates. As I said, you were going to run out of iron pretty fast. And one of the things I'm going to do before I actually build up the copper area is I am going to go in and I'm going to make one of these things called a burner inserter. Okay? I'm going to make one of these burner inserters, and I am going to get that thing to pull the crushed sapphire from this crusher and put it into this furnace. One of the mods is this inserter configuration frame. And basically, by default, it is set up like this. You take it from the bottom, you go to the top. Now, if you'll notice that on the icon here, let me zoom in nice and close, is that there is a straight line and an arrow. Now, a straight line represents the bottom of the inserter. In this case, it's on top, but basically that's the bottom of the inserter when you're looking at this graph over here on the left. And the arrow is the top of the inserter. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this around. And right now, the bottom of the inserter is on the bottom and the arrow's on top, so that's the top. Now I go over to my crusher and furnace. I'm going to drop this guy right here. So I want to pick it up from the bottom, which is what it's set to, and put it to the right, which will be that, like that. So if I drop this down right now, you will notice that it is now picking up stuff from this crusher and put it into the furnace. I no longer have to feed the crushed sterilite into the furnace, which means that this will continually make steel plates for me. I'm going to do a control left click to pull all of the plates out. Open up my inventory again, which is E. And then I am going to get the copper going. I want one of these burner mining drills. Go over to the next thing. I want one of these burner ore crushers. Back over to here. Okay, one of these stone furnaces. Actually, I'm probably going to want two of them because that's actually a component. Let me show you. So I'm going to need to have one of these things. But I also want to have a burner inserter. Okay? And right now I need more plates. Let me just grab the plates that I have here. Alright. You'll notice that it has... okay, this is not what I was expecting. So I can actually build one of these things. Often, these burner miners, for instance, have an input like the stone furnace. So if you have a stone furnace in your inventory, it will use that to build. So if you had plans on using that stone furnace somewhere else, it will be gone. So that's one thing to watch out for, is that if you want components that make up other components for other purposes, like in this case, I want to use that for smelting my copper plates. When I set up my builds and say, okay, I want a miner, I want a burner, I want inserter, I want a furnace, I want to click on the miner first, and then the crusher, and then the burner inserter, and then the stone furnace, so that the stone furnace doesn't get consumed when it builds something else up. And I am now out of coal for that guy, so I'm going to grab the coal from this guy. And one of the things that I was going to show was how do we actually determine the stack here. So there's two ways of getting, actually there's multiple ways of getting things in here. So you can pick up your entire stack and drop it in there. Okay, you can right click to pick up half the stack, and then you can drop that in there. Or you can just pick up your stack and right click and it will drop 1 in there. So if I do this, I now have 10 in there. That was 10 right clicks. Actually, 11 right clicks because the first one was consumed. This one is out of fuel as well. Now I do have the Fill For Me mod, and if I go under settings, controls, and I scroll down to where the Fill For Me mod is, which is here somewhere, Fill For Me, I can do a Control Shift R, and it will automatically a Control R, it will automatically fill the stuff in there. So we will do that and go back here. So one of these things that is probably running out of coal, like this one here, if I do a Control R, sorry, Control R, not a Control click. Yeah, that did not do what I was expecting it to do. Okay. Maybe because I got another item over there. But anyways, we will go up to the place to get copper, and I'm going to set up the copper mining stuff. So I'm going to grab the miner, and what I can also do is I can also put it into my quick bar. So let me actually just do that. I will grab all these pieces, put it into my quick bar. And it's basically just as simple as dragging them from your inventory and putting them into the quick bar. And now I can do 1, and it will automatically pick up that item. I want to feed that into my crusher, reconfigure the crusher to crush that stuff. Grab this guy, reset the picker stuff. Okay. And you notice it has automatically started to bring in stuff I don't really want it to bring in. Okay, so it started bringing in the crushed stone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually place the furnace first. You notice that it had already, the Fill For Me mod has already put things in there. And now I'm going to actually place the inserter, and the inserter will actually figure out that no, this thing does not take crushed stone, but instead it will take the crushed stereotype. I know I pronounce it differently every single time. Alright, so we now have copper plates getting made. We have iron plates getting made. And this thing needs, let's see, will a Control R work? Or a Control R work? No, okay, so something else is not working. Okay, for some reason it got reconfigured. Okay, let's bring that up again, and let's bring that back out. Alright, so one thing you'll notice is that this thing got itself a little bit weird. So you can click on the inserter and actually change it to configuration you want, and it'll actually be into the proper configurations. Alright, so I now have 58 of these guys. The next thing I need to do is I need to start my power grid. Alright. Now, if I bring up the map again, okay, let me turn off pollution for now. We have 2 places where we can actually set up the power grid. Okay. We have this place up here, which is the starting pond, and we have over here, which is more of a sea or a lake. Okay. It doesn't matter which one you use, but you do have to figure out where you are going to be placing your power grid. And right now, of what I can actually see, I just know about this one patch of coal. So I am probably going to want to put my power grid down here. Okay, so let's start with the power grid. And before I do that, let me get this guy going again. And this is one of the things you start off the game with, is that you have to basically monitor all of your machines and feed them coal. Okay, later on, as we get more and more tech going, conveyor belts going, and other similar things, we will not have to be feeding the machines so much. At the start, we do. So this is a game about automation. So That's, we start off with mundane tasks and we will have to start automating it. So I want to start, I'm thinking about starting my power grid right here. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to make myself an offshore oil pump. Sorry, not an oil pump, an offshore water pump. And that is underneath the water treatment. Okay. I need wood. Okay, I should really rephrase that. If we look under total raw, I need 3 iron plates and 2 circuit boards. Because this is an Angels and Bob's modded game, the circuit board is actually wood and copper. Now I have wood, but I have no copper. Alright, so that's grayed out, so I can't make anything with that. So let me go up to my copper farm, or whatever you want to say, my copper plate place, and suck out all the copper plates. I got 22 copper plates. I can now make 7 of these things. I just need one. One offshore pump is enough to feed 20 boilers. I haven't covered boilers yet, but I will do that in a second. Let me get rid of this thing right here. Oh, and this is one of those things that, before I actually, if you look to the right, you'll notice that mining this will give me 37 coal and 37 rock, which is one of the things I was looking for earlier, so I wouldn't have to mine the coal. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this guy. All right, so okay, I only got 27 out of it. Whatever. Anyways, so let's start off with getting out our water pump, offshore water pump. And you notice that on the map, on the play area, there are these green squares, okay? And that means that we can place the item down on these squares and it will be able to start pumping water. Okay? If we look at it, on the right, you'll notice that it says the pumping speed is zero pieces out of 1,200 pieces. That's because I have no pumps hooked up to it right now. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make 1 coal boiler and 2 steam engines. Each coal boiler will be able to handle 2 steam engines. So each of these water pumps can feed 20 boilers. So that means that off of each of these pumps, I can hold 40 different steam engines. And the steam engines, if we have a look at them, and that would be under power. There is power. There, that's power. Each of these steam engines can produce up to 900 kilowatts. So, if we have a look at 900 kilowatts, that'd be 1.8 megawatts per boiler. And we basically say that that is 36 megawatts per pump. That's a fair amount. But trust me, that is going to be used up pretty darn fast. So I want to make 1 of these boilers and 2 of these pumps, and you notice that I am short on iron plates again. And one of my mantras for this game is we are always short of iron. More iron. We need more iron, and we'll need more iron. And of course, we are going to have to feed our various different machines over here. So let's feed our machines. Alright, so we're feeding the machines. We will take out our iron. How are these machines here doing? 131. Okay, well, we don't need all that in there. And that's got 4 in there. So let's bring that up to about 20. So my little experiment with getting this thing to do both coal and sapphire probably didn't work as well as I would like it to. And this is one of the things with this game is you get to experiment and figure out exactly what you want. All right, so now I can make another one of these. Okay. Now, what I was showing you before with the pipes with components is that in here, for instance, I have iron pipes. Well, I don't like to put my boilers right up against the pumps. I like to bring them in by about 5, so I will make myself 5 iron pipes. Okay, so that was a right click, so that would do 5, and you see down here, okay, well, it's gone already. But I now have 5 iron pipes. Good. I only have one steam engine. So let's say I want to make myself another steam engine. So I do a click. Oh, well, there goes my pipes. This is why I was saying before is what you want to do is you want to make your machines first and then your components that those machines are made out of. Because now I have to go back over to mix another 5 iron pipes. And what I will do is I will lay them out. Okay. Bring out my boiler. Now you choose which way you want to go. Okay, if I go this way, I will have barely enough room to put down two of the steam engines. So let's give that a shot. We'll drop that one down there. Put in the 2 steam engines. Bang. We now have 2 steam engines down. We have this thing fit with 12. I am going to drop 60 in there, so that's not going to have to worry about fuel for a while. So next thing we want to do is we want to make some power poles. Okay, where are my power poles? There we go. So let's make, okay, so this recipe here, you'll notice here is take 2 copper cable, 1 wood, and it will actually push out 2 small power poles. So I'm going to make 5 of them, which means I will have 10 power poles when I'm done. Okay. I'm going to zoom in as I place this so you can actually see this nicely. What you'll notice around this power pole is that there are a bunch of turquoise boxes around it, and that's showing where that power pole can actually service. These guys down here, these steam generators, okay, they're currently not servicing anybody, and they're not hooked up to the grid. And that's what this yellow triangle with the power plug on it is. So if I drop this guy down right here, it will cover both of these steam engines. I will drop them down right here. You notice that thing has that yellow triangle with the power plug is now gone. All right. One of the other things I really should have explained is that with the power poles, as you drop one down, it will select the next one. And actually, if you have multiple ones in your inventory, it will keep on selecting. So if you want to stop building, it's the Q key. And that was the Q key right there. So I'm going to get rid of that power pole. Next thing I want to do is build one of these research labs. And right now, it is saying that I need to have 10 circuit boards. I have enough of the iron plates, but I don't have enough circuit boards. Okay. So that means that I am probably short on copper. Copper is one of these big resources that you need. It's not as bad as iron for what you need, but it is still one of those things you will be running out of occasionally. All right, let's get some coal into these guys. Okay, if I now have 42 of those, I can make one of the labs, research labs, and you notice it was making some of these iron gears. It is now making the wires. It will be making the boards, and then it'll be making the circuit boards, and then it'll be making some of these basic transports, and then it'll be making the lab. Before it does that, I will get the lab a place to go. Now these power poles have a maximum distance. You notice that there's that copper wire, copper cable is going between them. That is showing that they're connected. If I bring this to here, it's still connected. I move it one more to the right, and bang, that copper cable is gone, or that copper wire is gone. That means that I can bring it at maximum to here. Now, I don't want to drop it there, because if I drop it there, it is going to go right where the pipe goes. So I will bring it back one. And then I will drop one there, and I will drop one there. So I'm going to start off my research lab right here. Let's grab the research lab and drop it right here. And currently, it's not doing anything. Okay, I don't have any research selected. I don't have anything of the other stuff built. So what we need to do to feed it is to feed it with these yellow things. And these yellow things require, these are called automation science packs. And we need to have 1 copper plate and 2 iron plates for each one of these things. Now, we can automate building that, but I want to actually get things going a little bit farther before we start automating that fully. So the first thing we need to do is open up our research menu. And if you look up here at the top right, it says press T to start a new research. Okay, so I want to start off with basic automation, and this is one of the things that is different from the base game with these mods. Okay, so this will actually build up what is called a burner assembler and a steam assembler. And you'll notice that the burner assembler has a crafting speed of 0.25. That is 1/4 the speed that the player can build, which is pretty bad. We go to the next tech in the line, and this is the first tech that's usually available in the base game. And this one has a crafting speed of 0.5, so it's faster. So I really want to actually start off with this tech here, and you'll notice that it costs 5 of these automation science packs. Sorry, 5 of these automation science packs, which is this X5 here, and each science pack will take 5 seconds to be consumed. So if I have 5 science packs available and 1 research lab, it will take 25 seconds to research this technology. Okay, well, we have to start somewhere, so we will start with this research. Up here, we have the research queue. Bang. The next one I want to have is this one. It is 10 and 10. This will take 100 seconds to actually research. Okay. I also want to have basic logistics, which is another 10 and 10. Okay. I want to have optics, because the optics actually build this thing right here, which is the lighted small electrical pole, which is one of the quality of life mods that I have added. This will actually bring some light to the area without having to create a bunch of lamps. So I'll start research on that. I'm not worried about turrets yet, because I did not see any of the aliens anywhere close by. Same with stone walls. Military, I'm probably not going to worry about just yet. So military 2, which we can't really research for a while, will give us grenades. Well, we can't really do grenades just yet. Grenades are very, very fun, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. The next one I really want is this mechanical refining, which is part of the Angels and Bobs mods. And again, this is 15 and it will take 20. This will be 300 seconds if I had all of the things ready for it. Okay, let's see what else we can add to things. We don't need electrolysis just yet. We don't need solar just yet. We don't need the chemical processing, though these things can be useful. This is another mod. We don't need to worry about basic chemistry. This can also be useful, but we don't need it just yet. Wood processing. I'm not going to worry about setting up the next one, which is the transport science pack, for a while. So I don't want to worry about it. I've already got the first automation done. The next one I probably really want to have a look at is going to be this guy right here, which is the logistics, which it gives us the yellow belts. The yellow belts require tin, and that's why I want to make sure I had bobonium by the main base so that I can mine it and turn it into tin plate so I can start building these things. These yellow transport belts can transport 15 items per second. Now there are 2 sides to every belt. So you can actually transport 15 items total, so 7.5 per side. The gray belts, or the basic transport belts, are half of that, so 7.5. So it's not really that much in there. So I really want to get this guy up and going pretty soon, okay? Because I don't want to really spend a lot of time wasting my time to get the basic belts and then having to replace them almost immediately with these yellow belts. The other thing is that I want the basic mini loaders. This is a mod that I've been playing around with. I'm slowly getting used to it. And I will start research on that one here. And then when I can, I will switch to the mini loader here, which will be able to move 15 items per second. They can be pretty expensive, but we will see how it goes. Long inserters will also be useful later on for bringing in multiple items. Near inserters, this is part of the Bob's mod, which will allow us to have different configurations for the inserting. And then later on, we will have advanced ore refining, which will be one of the things we will have to pick up after all of this research is done. And what this will allow us to do, actually, we can't pick that up because that's a red. So that will have red, so we're not even going to do that just yet. We want to clear out all of the yellow only research first. And there's a bunch of yellow only research that we have in place that we should actually handle first. All right, so I got my initial queue set up. Now what I need to do, I've got my research area set up. I am going to grab all of my copper plates. Which was the control left click, and that should have cleared that out. Yes, it did. And I will go back down over here to this stuff right over here, and I'm going to do a control right click, and it grabs 42, and there should be 42 left, or 44 left in here. All right, so I now have enough to make, I think, 60. Now, if we look at my initial queue, I need 5, 15, 25, 35, 55, 75, 85. I don't have enough to get that entire queue done, but it will allow me to at least get started. Oh, so I ran out of iron plates. Alright, and you notice down in the queue that it is making some iron, these iron gears. I fully plan on automating this, but for the first little bit, I want to get the basic technologies done before I start automating. I don't have to replace everything. Alright, so far it has not actually made any of the science packs. It's just making the first one right now. And that is one of the problems with doing that shift left click to create the items, because it will do it all in one batch and you have to wait until it gets to the end of making everything before you get your first items out. Alright, we have our first 5 made. That was for basic automation. I will just drag that in here, and in 25 seconds we will have basic automation, and we will have a sound that all players of Factorio really like to hear, is when the research is done. Done. Okay, we now have the basic automation done. We're going into the secondary automation. As that's working, I'm going to start clearing out some trees. So this is, as I said, a little bit of a slow start, but once I get the first bit of research out of the way, we can then really start getting things going. Okay, there are other ways of clearing these trees. One of the things I alluded to earlier was to actually use grenades. That will clear out forests pretty darn fast. But at the start here, as you saw, the circuit boards, the basic circuit boards that a lot of the machines use, require wood. That's why we are going to start with the wood here and get this cleared out. Also, can find the good old Monty Python lumberjack song and sing that, but I don't think you guys want to hear my singing voice. Anyways, we just heard that the automation machines have been created, so we do not need to have the steam powered or coal powered assembling machines. So I can now go into here and have a look under my production, and I can now make these things. And I'm going to be short, looks of it, I'm going to be short both copper and iron plates to make one. Not a big deal. I'm going to feed this guy. It's hungry, and let it continue working. You can hear a little electrical cracking in the background. Go over here. You can hear the steam pumps going. If we click on the power pole, we can see the electrical graph right now and see that currently we're at 100% satisfaction. If I go over a minute, you can see that this is when I fed the research plant or the lab, and this will actually allow you to see how things have gone so far for forever. I like to keep it at either a minute or 5 seconds. We have 60 kilowatts being used right now. We have a maximum of 1.9. I think that's a rounding error because I only have 2 of these guys, and each one produces 900 kilowatts. 900 plus 900 is 1.8 megawatts, not 1.9 megawatts, so I got a feeling that's a display bug. I will go back over here. It will also say what is producing all of our power. We've got 2 of these steam engines that are producing power, and we've got a research lab that's consuming all of the power. While that thing is doing its thing, I'm going to feed in the last of the ones that I made. Okay, then we can also have a look at our boiler. Our boiler has 69 coal left in it. It's only outputting 2 units of steam, and it's basically got 200 units of steam in its output ready to be fed into the steam engines. The offshore pump itself is only doing 2 units per second out of 1200. And then we can have a look at the various pipes. This pipe says it has water, and it has 100, and the water temperature is 15 degrees. Grab all of our iron plates again to see if any of our machines need feeding. And it looks like they do. 125. Basically what I do is I grab half the stack with the right click, drop it in there, grab half the stack again, grab half the stack again, bring it up to 25. Got 21 in there, bring it up to 25 with a single right click to put in a single item. Yeah, I got 60 iron plates in here. I am going to bring that up to 25 as well. As I said, it's a bit of a slow start with this, but once you get started, you can start automating things. You can actually get things going pretty decently. Bring this up to 25 with right clicks. Grab all of my copper plates. I got 30 copper plates, and that I will go in here and shift left click. Make sure all of those, make sure my research items are getting created. Notice that this guy here is working. If I go in here, you'll notice that that thing goes up, and there's a little green bar underneath this thing here that is going down slowly as this green bar is going up. All right, let's go back in the research screen. One thing with the research screen is that it pauses the application. So that means that this is now paused. So there's nothing going on. Let's bring in some of the other things that we need. Having this electric assembly machine is also useful. It will only make electrical parts, like the boards and stuff, but it has a crafting speed of 1, so it's just as fast as the user. So I'm going to add that into the queue. I am going to also add in the long inserters and the near inserters, and that's about all I can do right now. And let those things go. Go up to my machines over here. Listen to the lovely music as the research gets done. Again, these things are not fast. Do I have... Okay, I'm going to wait until this one here is done before I start to automate anything. And one of the things that I've noticed happen is that the upgrade planner has come up. So if you notice that you have the upgrade planner come up, it kind of flooded this panel over here. I am going to go in here and basically turn off the upgrade planner, which is this guy right here, which kind of shrinks it back down. I'm going to get rid of that one as well. And here we are back down to the decent. Well, it's a little bit of a slow start, as I had said. But it gives you a good appreciation for making sure that everything is automated as possible. One of the other things I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring in a second research lab. I plan on actually having 25 total when I get going. Also notice it's a little dark right now. What I'm going to do is, while we're waiting, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make a couple of lighted poles. I'll put a lighted pole right here. And boy, did that brighten that up. So if I'm going to move away, and you notice that's pretty bright in that area now. And I'm going to drop in another lighted pole. So that's now a nice, friendly place to be. Okay, I can make my second one. The other thing I'm going to make is I'm going to go under logistics here. I'm going to look at, see, what do I need in here? So I need some more copper here, actually. Okay, I'm going to make, this is a powered inserter. It is now being created. So I am going to find a place to put this. Okay, I'm going to put that right here. And you notice that if I open up this, it is still set to the other one. I'm going to reset that back to default. I'm going to drop in guy right here, and I'm going to drop in my second research lab right there. Okay. So I now have 2 in there and 17 in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one here to feed the other one. So as these two, as research gets done, what's going to happen is that this one here is going to always have 2 in it. This one here is where I'm going to be dumping the research packs as I make them. And this inserter right here will basically take it from excess I have in this bottom one and bring it into the top one. What else is in our queue? The basic mini loader, the electronics assembly machine. Okay, long inserters, near inserters, and the assemblers. So we're still doing good. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to bring up this screen, which is the Hell mod, which is also a very good production planner. It takes a bit of time getting used to it. But basically, I'm going to add in a recipe here. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to start producing, of course, it's in a different order. I'm going to want to start producing these electric drills. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit their electric drill, change my time to 1, and I am going to change, I want to make, I don't know, 5 per minute. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and select the assembly machine, which is the thing I have access to. And if you click on here, it can do about 0.4 assembly machines. Oh, sorry, it needs 0.4 of a factory to make to be able to make 5 drills per minute. Yeah, I need to bring in 50 iron plates, 25 iron gear wheels, and 15 circuit boards to start off with. Okay, that is just the first stage of this chain. So the next thing we want to do is start making iron plates. Okay, so we have 2 recipes right now. We can take it from iron ore, which we don't really have access to just yet, or from the crushed sapphire, which is what I'm using right now. So I'll click on that guy. And it says I need to have 3 of these furnaces. Okay, fine. But I need to have coal, and I need to have crushed sapphire. Okay, to get crushed sapphire, it is from this. You'll notice that there is a hand recipe and an normal recipe. So click on that one there. Okay, it says we need 1 machine, but this is the burner ore crusher. So let's change that. Click on it. Go to the ore crusher, which is what we were just able to make. So far, I know that I need to have 1 crusher, 3 furnaces, and 1 assembly machine to make 5 drills per, or 5 electric mining drills per minute. Okay, so that is just this first step. Let's go to the second step. And what I'm going to do, because this is one thing that I'm experienced with, is I know that these iron gears are made from iron plates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of what I had put in. I'm going to start with the iron gears instead. And you notice that that needs its own 50 iron plates. I have 100 iron plates that I need. So now if I click on that, and in here, it will say I need 6. If I did it the other way around, because I need 3, and now I say this, well, it now says I still need 50. So if I click on that again, instead of adding it to this initial one, it adds in a second one. So that's not what I want to do. I want to build them all in one go. I'm going to start with the iron gears. I'm going to change this to the assembly machine, because I don't want to feed in coal. I'm going to bring in that guy there again. So I need 6 furnaces. I need to have 15 basic circuit boards, which means I need to have copper plates. Okay, which means I need another 2 of these guys, 2 furnaces. All right, so now you will notice that we are now down to these basic ingredients. I will click on this one here, grab that one, make sure I change it to not the burners. So I'm going to click on that one, but I'm also going to change the default to that type of assembly machine, and I'm going to say to apply it to everything on the production line. Okay, so now I need to have all these recipes set up. I do not have a source of wood right now, except for me cutting down trees. That needs to be fixed in the future. But I now know I need to bring in 150 of the crushed sapphire, 9 or 10 coal, and 34 of this. So let's just get the crushing out of the way. And as I said, make sure you don't use the hand recipe, use the normal recipe. Okay. Now I know that I need to have 150 of the ore and 34 of this ore here. Alright, so I wanted to actually grab that, and I want the normal recipe. Okay, nope. I click on that instead. I don't want to use infinite, since I don't have the stuff to mine infinite yet. And I want to grab the normal mining. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to make sure that this is using the electric drill. Default, bring it through. And that is telling me I now have my entire production chain in place to start making drills. So I need to make, these are the machines that I need to make. I need 5 assemblers, 8 of the furnaces, 3 of the crushers, 7 drills. Now, this is just going to be my first stage of building these things. Normally what I would do, since I use the bus method, is that I would actually use a bus of conveyor belts and build as many iron plates and as many copper plates, as many of these basic circuit boards as possible to fill up the bus. And in that case, I would stop my input to this recipe, to this chain, at this basic circuit board and at this copper cable. So that is what I am going to do. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to change this crusher to the electric crusher because I don't want to use the burner crusher anymore. I don't want this video to go on too much longer, so that is probably where I'm going to stop it right now. And you will notice that I have a lot of things I am going to have to fill up so that I can get things going. But before I do that, one other thing I want to point out with this recipe, this is hitting I to bring up the screen, this is the hell mod, is that I need effectively 900 kilowatts of power to pull this off, which is basically one steam engine. Okay, I'm going to need one steam engine just to make the drills. Okay, I'm also out of stuff over here. I'm going to hold it right there, and I will pick it up the next day. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. We will see how it goes. Then I will say goodbye to you, and have a good night, a good day, and a good afternoon for those people in different time zones. And have fun gaming with Factorio if you guys decide to play the game. Thank you for joining me.